So let's head here. We're a little low on food and water. Oh shit. Clouds gather in the distance, a haze curtain of rain hanging from them. Chitopek eyes the storm and spits. I wish the ship had a boatswain. There's no better to have with you in a storm. Crew looks to you. Your orders? Assign crew duties. Crew looks to you for guidance. And out the last of the cooked food, Benazine, and then put out the fires in the galley. And salutes. Understood, Captain. The crew will be glad to have a warm meal, but before we dive into this mess. Morale gain 4. Assign deckhand duties. Consider how best to use your hands. All hands get below deck. Secure the cargo. Everyone into the rigging. We need to reef the sail. Everyone to the rigging. We need to reef the sail. Crew ascends into the rigging, pulling lines and tying off the sail and diminishing the amount of fabric, facing the wind before returning to the deck. Return from the crew. Companion's aid. Seek out one of your fellow travelers. The crew could use some sermon sodi if you're inclined to give them comfort. Want me to pray to an aspect of death? Sodi lips quirk in amusement. Suppose I can plead for the safe passage of our souls through hell, but we perish shortly. After a nod, she bows her head. 10. Glory be to the many aspects of Athos, greatest of all of who is gone. I raise my voice to you in the humility, thankfulness, and everlasting worship. Hear me, my God, and take pity on our dire plea. As we now sail through the dark storm of death, we will not fear the reaping to come, for your lantern will guide our way. We will not stumble or stray from the path that you have led us through hell. We will embrace the end of our lives and the shuck of rotting husks of our fallen bodies. After whence we will be planted from rebirth by your hand, forever and always, as the wheel turns. Amen. Alright, crew duties, that's enough for now. We're prepared to go in. Clouds sweep over you, dominating the sky and hemming the sea beneath a roiling gray dome. The rain drums against the deck. Sweat beads on Badel's brow as the storm looms ever closer. Can't outrun this one, Captain. The ship rocks intermittently and unpredictably, and soon the crew clutches their heads or guts, bent double over, bucket squeezed tight between their knees. The befouled grog scent of their sick thickens the air. Shield Sister Dela, I want you to work your magic with whatever medicine you have. Shielded nods. Very well, I know just the thing. Surgeon moves among the crew, providing the relief to the affliction. Supply loss. Damn. The storms rage on, showing no signs of subsiding. I understand we have low rations. Storm rages on, showing no signs of subsiding. One day passes. The wind calms, but rain pours from the sky as if the Defiant had come to rest beneath a waterfall. Rainwater sloshes over the deck and under the rails. We're heaving to, lash the rudder against the sails and get below deck. Chidovik shouts orders to the hands that do not the ropes around the ship's wheel. When the ship is set to sail as best it can without guiding hand, you join the others below deck. Guided only by the storm and still rudder, the Defiant crashes through the waves, a rough remedy to the crew crowded below deck. Okay, and completing encounters and defeating enemy captains at sea earns sailor experience for the crew and captain. Acquiring sales experience will increase the rank of a crew member's current job. Crew members can only increase rank in the jobs they have already have at least one rank in. The captain always advances their captain rank. Got it. As if exhausted, the clouds finally calm, coming to rest like a thick blanket across the sky. The waves, too, in their trembling complaint. Defiant finally sails easily. The crew leans against the rails and rigging, their face bagged and but relieved. The storm, or haggard but relieved. I don't know where he got bagged. The storm, it seems, has passed. Morale 3. Crew earned 550 experience. The crew earned 1 sailor experience. Me trying to dodge it last minute. Wait, I no longer have injured crew. Morale -1 because of the water. Go to port. Bring the places you have discovered. You can also search for local ships. Okay. Can I not go into this village? We're about to run out of supplies. Go away, ship. Go away. Oh shit. I wanted to see that tutorial, but oh well. We made it. We made it. Dunnage, Deep Spring, on Prima 2828.
That can't be who I think it is.
Peg leg performers yet? It's awful.
The
Is
Green
it
Menace?
Damn me
I
for a
did.
buttered slice of
Made
hard
me
sack.
wanna poke it.
It's you, ain't it?
The pale elf squints at you and puffs her pipe. Acrid smoke from the valve wreathes her face. Do I know you?
Of course not. But I know you like I know the curve of my 11th toe.
She winks and shuffles closer.
The Watcher, captain of a mighty ship, god chaser and fiend slayer.
Must be expensive.
Must be expensive sustaining
Oh.
a reputation like that, eh?
She rubs her fingers together.
I'll keep it quick, see? If your little dinghy has got some chase in it, I've got a list of captains with a black mark to their name whose ships need a quick scuttling. And I'm in the market for a scuttler.
Okay. She sticks the pipe in the side of her mouth and grins, showing a mouthful of yellow teeth. You're offering me a bounty? Where do I start?
You read me like a book, you do. Then let's talk business, eh?
She cracks her knuckles and grins.
You'll be looking to scuttle Cornu first, one of Rowatai's finest, eh? I don't ask my client what he did or what scale his death balance is. Safer to keep questions in the hold.
I'll take the bounty.
Of course you will. Knows a good opportunity when you seize it. Cornu helms a Voyager early muster in the waters north of Nakataka and south of Sayuka.
That's good. Before I go, I had some questions.
Avon,
Where do your bounties come from? She takes the pipe from the mouth and glances away, sighing through her nose.
better if you don't ask.
Why not?
Because the Deadfire's in a big, ugly power play, it is. And not everyone gets quartered for being in the game. One captain, she's a piece, standing 20 rounds distant from the real players. Another, he's a means to some unknowable end. Who's to say why they both need to die?
She gestures with her pipe in a broad, circular motion.
And the type of clients he pays for the red worker scuttling. They don't blow the gaff to the elf.
She points first to you and then back to her before wedging the pipe back between her teeth. Alright, very well. A large Almine sailor sits on the docks, broad shoulders hunched forward, back bowed. When he shifts, his blue-green skin ripples from his hulking muscles.
Ain't no cruel eye of me. What good's a pirate who can't see? Forget navigating by the stars or shooting a pistol. I can't even swing a sword accurately now. Have a pity and toss me a pyre, will you?
What's your story?
Is this what my life boils down to? A moment of entertainment for others?
Dude, if you want my 5 copper, you gotta make it worth something. He sighs heavily, big shoulders hunched.
I was a bosun not so long ago, and a damn good one at that. But I took a shot to the face, see?
He waves one massive hand in front of his sightless eyes.
Didn't lose much skin, but the flash burned out me eyesight. I can't make out so much as a blurry shape more than a foot away. Makes me right useless on a crew now, don't it? No one will have me for work.
Here's 5 copper.
Andra's blessings to you for sharing, sailor.
Farewell. Good luck, my dude. Neglected pig? Did I see that right? I did. Hold up. Oops. It just fell in my pocket. And those fell in my pocket. Weird.
I'll take care of this.
Hey, Chauncey is the pig. Boy, I feel like we're winning now. I will win even more when I have... Where am I supposed to go? King's Coffin. When I have supplies for my ship. We're doing this one. No, we're not doing that one. I thought we were supposed to go here. Yeah, Captain Ferrante, who resides in Island of Durnage. So I'm looking for Captain Ferrante. So let's go to the King's Coffin.
Kill 'em, wait an hour, then pull any gold teeth. Easy as pie.
You're an idiot. Wait a minute, wait an hour. Alive, dead, it makes no difference at all.
I've pulled plenty of gold teeth. I know the right way of it.
Maybe I'll pull your teeth just to prove you wrong.
Oh, wow. Okay.
What do you know?
Violence.
It really does make no difference. You, out.
Gildaman, you can't be here.
Reckon that's one way to settle an argument.
Oh look, he stole his stuff. How messed up is that? Alright. Jacob!
Look at this.
At the bar you find a tall man with salty gray hair and strikingly bright blue eyes. His face sports a handful of long scars that continue down his neck and disappear beneath the collar of his shirt. He looks up from wiping down the counter when you approach and gives you a broad, disarming smile. Continue.
Haven't seen you around before. Welcome to the King's Coffin.
Well, thanks for welcoming me in. He smiles is wide enough to show his bright white teeth, but his light eyes remain cold and flinty. I'm not really playing my
What can
character
I
right
do
now.
for you?
Your tavern looks... let's see. Tavern looks a lot like an old ship.
Figured that out all on your own, did you?
Okay, don't be a dick. He winks.
You're right, though. Inherited an old dhow from my da when he passed. Right piece of shit it was, too. Realised I was bound to make more coin turning her into a tavern than letting her rot in her berth.
I want to buy something.
What do you want?
Stock of
So long
provisions.
as you show me some coin.
We could do better than that. Let's do another 50 water. Alright. We don't have anything in our stash, do we? No, we have a bunch of stuff. Not a lot of good stuff, though. I don't want to sell a fine advocate, so let's sell this one first. Okay. I guess that'll be good for now. Yeah, this will be fine. What the hell is this? When did we grab that? Okay. Wow. Boop. Boop. Put all the alcohol in here. Yay. My crew will drink water sometimes. I heard something, I'm not sure the validity of it, but there was a time when water could spoil on the sea. I'm not exactly sure how it spoiled on the sea. Oh man, my morale's only at 57. Crap. But yeah, it would spoil on the sea. And then, so like the water could go bad. So one of the reasons that they had a lot of alcohol on the ship and ale and whatnot was because the alcohol would keep it from spoiling. So that's why they drank so much. It was because it was just safer. The wall is notched with scars from the countless knives thrown, completely missing the target. Huh. When I play.
If you're enjoying my performance, tips are welcome but not required. Thank you, loyal patron.
Voice monotone, the wizard examines her nails as she speaks. A hand on her hip, she cocks her head as she waits for you to speak. It doesn't look like you're enjoying yourself.
I work for a handful of pyres per day. How could I find enjoyment in that?
How did you end up among these pirates?
I was playing dice and gambled on a sure thing. It turned out not to be such a sure thing,
That
and
happens
now
a lot.
Parker owns my arse until I can pay off the debt.
Fair. Accidentally hit. Build up. How do I get out of it?
Of course, I started off owing him 250, and even though I've paid that twice, now I'm in the hole for 700. The interest rate, this uniform, my food and drinks, they all got added onto my tab at the end of the day. Oh, thank you, patron. I'll be debt-free in no time.
Despite her words, she doesn't actually sound appreciative. In fact, she rolls her eyes as she tucks the coin into her pocket. Cool. I keep hitting this instead of tab. Yeah. Find a lanky blonde elf flipping through a book of Adrian poetry by the artist Skilba. His armor is well worn and well kept. Bears on its breast the image of a double-headed eagle holding a sword and crown. Looking more closely, you notice that with his free hand, he's picking a padlock.
Hello. May I help you?
He catches you looking and gives you a shy smile.
Need anything?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm not sure what there is to tell. I'm a man of adventure, mostly.
Have you had any that would make a good story?
A few. More than I could share in a night, to be sure. There is one that's close to my heart. It led me to my love.
Oh, go on. He nods, pleased.
I was on an expedition into the backwoods of Reard Seras when I came across an abandoned town. To my great surprise, I found a tremendous hoard of books in the town priest's cottage.
What's surprising about that?
The Reard Serans are conservative folk, more so even than the Adirans. They don't have much use for reading that doesn't come from one of the holy texts of the Church of Aethys. And what a selection of books it was. Every subject represented, even some questionable ones. I couldn't help but help myself to them. I took as many as I could carry, and I can carry quite a bit. Read them all cover to cover and learned a lot too. I tired soon of wandering, so I settled in a small town in the Deerwood and became a tutor for a noble family. Fell in love with the governess, naturally, and I stayed. For a while.
Then what?
Well,
He rubs the back of his neck and looks away a moment.
I felt a stirring in my bones one day. I can't explain it. I just woke up, caught sight of the horizon, and had to go. I left my lady wife right there in our marital bed.
Wow. He sighs deeply. A look of longing flits across his face as he ruins someone's life, but he stifles it with a quick frown.
I don't know what's waiting for me out here in the Deadfire, but I have hope this will be my biggest adventure yet.
Tell me about yourself.
I'm not sure what there is to tell. I'm a man of adventure, mostly.
Have you had any that would make a good story?
And what a selection of books it was. Every subject represented, even some questionable ones. I couldn't help but help myself to them. I took as many as I could carry, and I can carry quite a bit. Read them all cover to cover and learned a lot too. I tired soon of wandering, so I settled in a small town in the Deerwood and became a tutor for a noble family. I felt as I don't know what's waiting for me out here in the Deadfire.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your travels?
Well, you listened to my long tale. I suppose you are owed a trick or two. For the low price of 3,000 copper.
Yeah, no, I don't think so.
Have it your way then.
Oh, God, have mercy on me.
Booth is cozy and perfect for discreet feelings. What's going on with you? Hunched on his hands and knees, quivering and drenched in sweat, the pirate lets out a pain-filled groan.
Lost my God's damn soul and stupidity. Andre, save me now.
What's wrong with you?
My ship was attacked and boarded by pirate hunters. Didn't know if we'd be able to get away, so I swallowed down my most valuable possession, Gutty's black tear. Gemstone
Wow.
about the size of my fist. Of course, now it ain't coming out of either end. Been trying all manner of foul concoctions to no effect on account of my stomach being too strong. Years of sailing the storm-racked seas will do that to you. Started feeling an intense pain 2 days ago. I think I might be dying. I can't even crawl no more.
What can I do to help?
Make me puke. Whatever you're gonna do, just make it happen before this cursed gem kills me. Give me something strong enough to upset even my iron gut. Rosanella's got a stand in the Radiant Court. She's been supplying me with some experimental concoctions, tweaking them after. Tell her the last one actually came close to working.
Okay. Where did that person go that was standing here? The demon? Interesting that people move in this game.
Go pester someone who cares.
My, aren't you a handsome one?
That face. She's like not wearing anything, but she's really old. An older woman looks you up and down and smiles, revealing several gold teeth.
Did you need help with something, my dear?
Oh, what do you do here?
Isn't it obvious? I entertain, of course.
I mean, good for you. She does a little shimmy and breaks off with a laugh.
It'll cost you 50 pyres, naturally. And don't let the wrinkles fool you. I'm still young at heart, and I've got more experience than most.
He chuckles. Farewell.
You must gather your party before.
Alright, let's check the beacon. I assumed for some reason that the stuff in my inventory would go to my ship automatically. Did not. I think I lost quite a bit of morale because of that. Hopefully I can gain it back. Yeah, there's Captain Ferrante. Two-eyed Pim.
Much ado to you, Casita.
The captain flourishes his sweeping bow. When he bends forward, a golden solent slips from his collar to dangle at the end of his chain. He stuck it away as he strains, but not before you notice the etching on the front side. It marks him as a third chair on the Consugula Mas Casitas. I don't know what that means.
If you are looking for Ferrante, he is presiding over the Consuelo from his chair. You will find it seated in the center of the chambers ahead.
I can see him.
Elsewise, how might I be of assistance?
Tell me about the Consuelo Mas Casitas.
Yes, our council of captains.
He tips his head towards the semicircle of elaborate ornate chairs aligned on the other side of the room.
There are 7 seats on the Consuelo, each occupied by a high-ranking captain within the Principe. Seat holders convene to vote on a variety of issues concerning the Principe's well-being. To claim a seat, a captain must have substantial backing and sufficient power, both politically and physically.
Noted.
Ferrante, the last Marcheso, holds the highest ranking seat because the most ships in our entire fleet have pledged loyalty to his flag. As you can guess, the Sea Wolf, Aldis, commands the second most numerous fleet of ships. As such, she is the second chair and I am the third.
He rolls his head onto his neck.
Perhaps you have my ear, Cassie.
Rolls his head on his neck.
Of what do you wish to discuss today?
I don't know how I read it on 2. I am like having problems reading words into other words again tonight. This is what happens when I work out and then I come and try to read. Why do you speak like Valen? Captain arches a dark brow.
I met Ferrante decades ago. Many years I sailed as his first mate before building my own humble fleet.
With an affected shrug, he sweeps a hand to indicate the room.
When in the Principe, do as the Valians do. Unless, of course, you have no care for tradition or the continued sustainability of our way of life, like some filthy new blood.
Is there someone or someplace I should avoid while in Dunwich?
You may have noticed a divide between old blood and the new, by which I mean those who descended from or otherwise hold old Valia in grand esteem, and the varied and often uncouth recruits we have since brought into the fold. I assure you the latter was supremely by necessity, though perhaps I am ill-equipped to throw stones. As a casita of some repute, you will be most welcome in the king's coffin. But you should watch yourself throughout the radiant court.
Thank you. Captain!
I'll handle this.
Ferrante, the last Marco, is inscribed in the back of the chair. Can I not talk? Okay.
Ah, Watcher. Good, you have arrived.
Chin jutting upward, he grants a winsome smile. He left cheek dimples as the smile spreads to show teeth.
A little seabird informs me that you have dealt with our mutual problem, the scoundrel Benuet.
I mean, I dealt with him politically. His eyes glint as a fierce grin cuts across his face, and his lone dimple deepens.
I must admit, I did not expect you to
Okay,
leave him
yes.
alive, but I think it a shrewd decision. Whatever understanding you've come to, I do believe could prove advantageous for us in the future.
I hope so.
Gelarde, for this you have my grandest commendation.
He had it coming.
That he did, indeed.
Bronte strokes his finger down the line of his jaw, eyes downcast in thought.
Even though you left him alive, I am sure his pride received a long overdue beating. And as promised, I have prepared for you a fine prize.
A cloak of protection! With a sweep of his arms, he offers a magnificent cloak. You gained a cloak of protection.
However, there is another matter of which we must now speak.
Okay.
I must confess to you a bit of a problem has arisen. One which speaks to your expertise with the supernatural. We've sighted the floating hangman that haunts the Deadfire.
That seems dangerous. Wait, did you say a ghost ship haunts the Deadfire?
Indeed, and I will say it truly again.
I think my character would have said that line. He probably would have said the second one. And I gotta get in character.
This galleon, what likely remains of the Fonferros, is a frightful legend.
Okay.
We have been losing ships at sea, amico, and not to those Valera ship-hunting bastards. I believe the floating hangman may be our culprit. Fortune favors us, as I have procured a survivor from such a recent sinking. You will consider what she has to say.
Sounds good. Hey, hold on a second. Tried to talk and swallow at the same time. Head craning abruptly to the side, he barks a loud order.
Come forth, Selenia. Quickly now, or I will run rivers of your lethargic blood.
Alas, he smiles. Sun-blistered and raw-boned, the pirate regards you with both a discerning glare. She tongues a chapped bottom lip, but keeps quiet.
Well, spit it out, Selenia, and try not to embarrass me before our guest.
Of course, Captain. It might have pretty hard near the end, but I spit the tale as best as I can.
The pirate touches a spot on the base of her skull and winces. She glances off to the side, eyes black and full of hurt. Bronte sighs and rubs tiredly between his brows.
Go on, gent. I'm ready as I'm like to get me.
The shiver, the pirate turns her black buttoned eyes to you. Oh, this is him. Nod, what happened to you?
Saw my old crew slaughtered me, my best mates, and even a few I hated. They weren't but blood and meat in the end. It branded the back of my eyes that moment. High seas, nothing but blue all around. Then, mist so thick you could taste it. Ships sailed from within, out of nowhere.
Silent Hill. We've been there.
Was a hunt, not for loot, but for bodies.
Or is it the Wild
ship.
Hunt?
It looked...
The Wild Hunt on sea? She gropes at her hip, but there's nothing there. Fingers fumbling in the air, she bares her teeth.
rotted. The crew, they were all undead. Couldn't
Happens.
stop them from boarding. Couldn't kill them. Couldn't even fight them in the end.
Tell me about the undead.
They were dreadful. Some were clothed, like maybe they'd only recently died. Others weren't more than moving bones.
They were sneaky?
One was different. Her presence was overwhelming. Heavy. Flames burned in the place of her eyes. The crew shambled hard to do her bidding, even the ones who seemed hardly aware. Figured she was the captain, me.
Ghost Rider. She shrugs, gaze going far away.
There is a flag the floating hangman flies. A flag that once heralded the Fonferros of Old Valia. It belonged to a Darkotsi paladin of some legend, one Lucia Rivan. But Selenia's knowledge is limited in this regard. Let us instead ask her of a subject she may know.
How were you taken by surprise on the open sea?
Me and my crew were adept. Alert. Always.
Obviously not.
No. Weren't no one gonna get the jump on us.
Okay, you were all drunk.
Was some magic foul. Just sudden like, the winds died, the waters fell flat and the air got heavy. They turned sky and the sea both against us. Then this thick fog roiled up at midday. Without a sound, the Spectre ship
She glides her hand in the air.
skimmed right out. It was too late. We couldn't outsail it.
When did this happen? She scuffles a hand through her short hair.
Deny me. Drifted for days, maybe longer. Kept winking in and out after I ran out of drink.
One of mine found her no more than a week ago. Malnourished, dehydrated. The poor girl was scarcely able to speak.
Well, I'm more than able to gabble now, aren't I? Could sail, too. No, you got no reason to keep me.
She puts her hands over the softness of her shirt. Again, her fingers hesitate to close to her hip. The fabric crinkles there, where a pistol might normally be strapped. Muscle ticks in Ferrante's jaw, but he otherwise ignores her.
Perhaps there is something else you wish to ask of our guest before she departs from us.
How'd you survive the attack?
Calling me Craven? Huh, sure, I am.
She snorts. She rubs at the back of her head, though, like she needs it to hurt. She needs it to hurt? Interesting.
Took a knock-in and I was out for a while. When I came to, they were eating Ganasco, our steward. I dropped a dinghy and rode for it. Don't know why they didn't give chase. Don't much care me.
Oh, we all. Selena cuts a glance to Ferrante for confirmation when he dismissively waves her way. Her black eyes narrow and she raises her chin, defiant. Though he turns his full gaze to her, suddenly seething, and she shrinks on it herself. Fist shaking at her side, she reluctantly retreats.
She belongs to Aldis, who undoubtedly will come to claim her soon. But that is a problem for another time.
Ferrante sighs.
One moment, Watcher.
The captain scowls at Selena's retreat back, dark anger warming in his cheek. Selena is loyal to Aldous, neither adhere to the same principles as you. Wonder chases across his face. It lines the color of his eyes.
How very clever of you. Indeed, the White Kestrel and her crew were pledged to Aldis.
He drums his finger across the blunderbuss strapped to his chest.
However, it is not by virtue of Aldis that Selenia yet lives, and I would have that well remembered. I can be a generous leader, you understand.
So we appear to have seen.
Truly.
He grins arrogant and dangerous. On his left cheek, his dimple cuts deep.
Allow me to cut to the heart of it. Lucia Revan, whose flag flies atop our spectral ship, was a Dakotsi paladin who died more than 200 years ago.
That's a while.
It is my hope that uncovering the details regarding dear Revan's fate in life may illuminate the nature of her undeath and how to defeat her galleon.
Okay.
Unfortunately, the only soul who could possibly shine more light on our situation lies buried deep within Neketaka.
A kind of problem?
One
Not for me.
the Berethian, now well rotted, I presume.
I'm a watcher. I could go talk to her anyways. Or them. Him. I don't know why I gendered this person. I take it you have a plan.
Indeed, I do.
Flashes you a devious grin.
Though I and mine cannot so openly venture into the depths of Neketaka, nor can we commune with the dead. You, Watcher, are adept in both of these areas, correct?
Yeah.
You must search the Temple of Berath on Neketaka's sacred stair. His heir's tomb within it should contain a chronicle for how and where he slayed our paladin, Rivan.
Who is Ysser the Baratheon?
Regrettably, I know little but this. He was an Ediran warrior priest of Berath, and a significantly fervent one, if tales are to be believed. He chased our Dakotsi to the Deadfire, hunting her to her death. Shortly after slaughtering our brave paladin, the priest died, possibly of sickness, or perhaps from a festering battle wound.
Okay.
He was entombed in honor of his service to Berath, in Neketaka's sacred stair.
Do we know anything more about Lucia Riven?
By all accounts, our Rivan was a Dorkotsi paladin who sailed to the Deadfire in order to safeguard a royal weapon of Old Valia. She is the epitome of Grand Valia, of magnificence, honor, and duty. Living or undead, she strives still to serve her charge. And yet, we know not why, but a Berethian priest called Izir opposed our Rivan, and fiercely. They fought to the death. Rivans, to be precise, in this very archipelago. Along with her life, Rivan lost the sword she had sworn to protect.
He traces a dreary line down his jaw.
It has, lamentably, remained unfindable since. I believe it may be why she searches the seas yet.
Okay. I'll see what I can do.
Gelarde, do return when you've any lead that may navigate us to where the floating hangman anchors. I will be waiting.
He nods cordially in dismissal. It's kind of interesting. What does the summation actually say? We won't be doing this for a while. Okay. Talk to Rosanella in Radiant Court. Okay, we're in the Radiant Court, I do believe. No, we're in the Balefire Beacon. Let's do a little exploring. Then we'll go to the Radiant and do that dude's quest.
It's mine now.
Nobody in here.
The better part of valor.
Check the tower out real quick. See if anything is up there. So if you're ever wondering why I take 2 drinks of water, if I ever have a cup, I think I've talked about this before, if I ever have a cup that has the symbols on the side, these are like playing cards, that usually has alcohol in it. So it's usually vodka and a little bit of lime, or like vodka soda. Right now I'm just doing like vodka water because I'm trying to lose weight still. But yeah, that's what that means. A little bit in there. Trying to get down to like 170-ish, so I can bulk back up to 175. My whole goal in Jiu-Jitsu is to compete around that area. We'll see. We will see. Got a lot to learn. Okay, so Radiant Court. I gotta look up the person's name again. Rosanella.
I don't know how you and the water sleep, carrying all those souls around.
I'm gonna do a quick save because it's been a minute.
Some nights it's the lantern that lulls me to sleep. It pulses like a heart in my hand.
If you find that comforting, then I'm glad for you.
I love banter. They do a lot of good job with the banter here. Landra.
That was a disaster of epic proportions if ever I directed one.
Arms flailing wildly before her, the stage performer shoots the other actors from the set.
A typhoon couldn't have cleared out our audience faster.
What's wrong?
What's wrong? I'll tell you what, everything.
That's a
My
lot.
troops coming apart at the seams. We're short on cash, we're low on people. and we've run plumb dry on enthusiasm.
She takes the points on her fingers.
We haven't drawn a decent crowd in more than a fortnight. And it ain't like pirates are hard to please. That's how you know the show really stinks. But I think I know what the problem is. We've got a lack of flair. If only I could hire more talented performers. I just know my play would take off.
What about your play?
Only the biggest thing to hit the Deadfire since the Valian Trading Company started hunting us like sea hounds.
Really now?
I'm talking about Aethus storming through the archipelago and capsizing nearly a whole fleet of our ships.
What would you need to improve the play?
A better Aethus, for one. I'm the tallest one in our troop. I'm still not very convincing, even when I bother to dye my skin blue. Also, our special stage effects aren't all that special anymore. We had someone for that role, but she got herself into debt and has a new job at the King's Coffin.
Yes. I think I'll be able to help you.
Really? Well, that's great. Then we could...
Abruptly, her eyes narrow, her dark brow furrows with heavy suspicion.
Wait a tick. Why would you help me? What do you get out of this?
I don't see anyone else helping you, do you?
Right. Beggars can't be choosers, I suppose.
No, and I have a blind friend that definitely needs work.
I'm in desperate need of 2 more performers. A wizard for one, plus any oaf big enough to pose as Aethus.
Yep.
I happen to know a wizard of the finest skill set who already performs here in Dunwich, Diana at the King's Coffin.
Yes.
But unfortunately, I got no idea of where we might find a suitable Aethus. Get me the right people for the parts, and I promise you'll be pleased with your investment. I'll turn us a profit or die trying.
Yep.
Can't do it. My old captain was a drinker from the day he was born to the day he died. Always he was rail thin. He wound up with a wooden leg, 26 ships and a bilious fever. Sunrise is a woe, doves. The coming horizon is a sea-sized ruin.
Pirate cuts a glance aside, bout of jaunty music racket up. She bobs her head to the beat.
They sail on their gilded bridge.
The first thing you notice about this man is the nature of his attire, loud in clashing red and purples, bright as peacock. On a second glance, you see that he's tall and lanky, boyishly handsome in an unkempt way, with a trim beard and a friendly smile. He hums a little tune to himself as he watches the passerby.
My good sir, hello.
He gives you a frightfully cheery wave and beckons you closer. This game is just like such a step up already from the first one. Like already that's cool, you know, like the battle system's cleaned up. The whole pirating thing is a hook that I'm already into. The sea thing is a hook I'm into. But just like the lay of this whole like area, like look at what's going on. There's so much more movement. It's not static as it was in the first one. And like just even them introducing a random person on the street is just more interesting than I think they were able to hit in the first game. This is like you can already feel the momentum of this game building. It's awesome. I kind of like, well, not kind of, I really want to see where this goes. And like, I'm glad this is like the only game I'm kind of playing right now till, you know, April 1st when Outriders comes. But yeah, this will be definitely my main game for the month. I think I'm just going to stick with it. I might play some like Dead Cells or like a couple rounds of Dead Cells or Darkest Dungeon, but I'm definitely digging this game.
Whatever might I do for you?
Tell me about yourself.
I'm certain there's no need to tell you, observant as you no doubt are, that I am an actor.
He says the bow spit with flourish and extravagant bow. Another thing that is in my mind is like I didn't really care about the characters too much in the first one, right? So I skipped those quests. If you go back and watch my playthrough, you'll see that I kind of skipped those character quests. Here, the way the basics are happening, if my companions have a quest, I'm starting to feel like they're going to be a bit more interesting and involved. than like the Pillars of Eternity 1. So I'm kind of waiting for one of them to say something, be like, hey, we should go do this, and I want to be like, yes, let's go do that. Because already, like, there's just, I feel, even if it was this different writer or just how it's written, this game feels like they took from the first one all the lessons and they caught their stride, and now we're kind of watching them run. I love watching that in like studios where, like, especially CD Projekt Red will pretend that Cyberpunk hasn't happened in our reality, but you look at The Witcher 1, 2, and 3, 1 was kind of rough, right? 2 was a little rough too, but like you're starting to get more story, you're starting to get more game development, and then 3 hits and this masterpiece of a game, even though it's a little bit buggy still, especially on launch, it turns into a masterpiece of a game. That's why, like, I think all of us who have played through the Witcher series, when Cyberpunk hit, we were like, oh man, this is gonna be, the apex of what the studio can do. And they've been kind of like under for a while. They haven't been really developing too much outside of this, besides, Gwent and whatnot, riding that horse. But that's why I think, yeah, like, Cyberpunk was disappointing. But at the same time, like, you play Pillars of Eternity 1 and it's good. It's a solid CRPG. But this already, I'm only like, what, 6-7 hours into this. I'm seeing myself playing this one almost to the level of Pathfinder level, where I'm gonna see probably 100 hours into the game if there's 100 hours of content to sink into the game.
Stage, tavern, street corner. They are as much my home as where
Anyways,
I
that's
lay
my
my
rant.
head at night. So, I travel Eora, looking for opportunities to share my gifts with the grateful masses, wherever that may lead me.
You make a lot of money doing that?
Oh, goodness, yes, loads of it. I've been known to joke that I'm less a man than I am a walking bank for all the coin that I carry. The common folk do so love an actor. We bring mystery and excitement to their otherwise dreary lives. Yes, you could say we're doing the God's work.
Oh, and he's so humble about it. I'm gonna keep listening.
It's quite difficult, living as I do. On occasion, foolish folk will take my act for reality. I've thrice been run out of a town for impersonating a foreign dignitary. Damn fools don't understand the blistering wit of my satire, I tell you. I had to learn to protect myself as a result, though I must admit, what martial skills I've got aren't of use for much more than fighting off wolves or throttling a thief with designs on my satchel. Thank the gods, I hardly ever need to use them. I could talk myself out of nearly anything,
I'm gonna shrug.
Well, I can.
Frowns, hands planted on his fist.
All things being equal, I'd much rather recite a sonnet than swing an axe. But a man's got to make his way in the world any way he can.
Can you teach me what you've learned in your travels?
I would be honored. But a man needs to make a living, So, for my services, how about 3,000 copper?
No, I don't think so.
You know where to find me if you change your mind.
Okay.
May luck accompany you on the road, my friend.
I get this mechanic now. These people you can randomly come up to, if you have the money, will enhance your abilities.
Put
That's
down
cool.
anchor, breed, and don't loot so much.
Very cool.
But when should we lot? Where and how could we settle?
So we'll have to pay attention to these people. Grab this. Oh, let's grab all this.
Loves,
That's all that stuff.
and you may sober up, sinking.
And I do like the fact that they're just letting me loot
Or his last ship, 3-star.
the harbor. Ignore the fact that I'm just stealing
before the
shit.
burning. The morning is a blight. Love some.
Morning is a blight.
Tomorrow is a pus-filled boil.
Oh, okay.
Welcome to my emporium. Whatever you need, I sell. What would you like to buy today?
You own all these stalls?
I do now. I started out with only one stall and eventually branched out, buying out my competitors one by one.
Show me what you have for sale. Dang. Okay, dude. Will you take a loan? Okay, well, I can't afford your goods.
I'm telling
Stray
you,
dog.
look for Edwina in the king's
I've got
coffin.
coins
Yay.
and a few.
Dude, and the pet collection.
You half-masted sot. She's got to be 90 years old.
You carry yourself like a person well acquainted with violence.
I am.
Care to put your skills to use for a good cause? And some coin?
Oh, well, it's hell yeah.
Hmm?
She dances a coin across her knuckles, mirth a bright glint in her eyes. Tell me about the cause you mentioned.
It's simple enough. The firebrand commanded by Captain Henqua once plagued the Deadfire. The skill and brutality of Henqua's crew was the stuff of legends.
Desiree flicks the coin she's holding and snatches it from the air with a grin. Up close, it's clearly a soul in it. I don't know what that means.
But
You won't.
pirate legends don't live long. Some months ago, an alliance of Neketaka pirate hunters managed to corner the firebrand and sink her off the coast of Tikawara.
It's
They
another island, right?
confirmed Captain Henqua's death, but her senior crew members escaped unscathed.
Wait, hold on a second. It was recently found by a small Hawaiian tribe, though the location has limited access to food. It's closest to legendary Inquithin's ruins, known to the Hwana as Pokakohara. Is there trading in
And
this
now
game?
it seems like bringing the firebrand's crew to justice doesn't matter to anyone but me.
Even in the low light, you can see veins throbbing her in her temple. Her voice drops to a low growl. Low light?
So I want you to kill them. And I'll pay you out of my own pocket if you do.
I'll hunt down those pirates. Who am I looking for?
The firebrand had a mascot. A useless little bastard, who's taken to calling himself Lord Admiral Imp. He's not terribly dangerous on his own, but he's keen to make a nuisance of himself wherever he goes.
He rubs the bridge of her nose and sighs.
Last I heard, Lord Admiral Imp was making himself comfortable in Queen's Berth. You'll find him there with a few zarups and constructs, the little buggers convinced to follow him. Bless their simple hearts.
Who's next on your list?
You'll be taking down Lady Ipiro, Captain Henqua's former first mate and a rumored lover. She's a cipher, and a dangerous one at that.
I'll mute her.
Ipiro maintains an estate in Serpent's Crown in Neketaka. But I wouldn't recommend you rush in muzzles blasting and swords held high. She keeps a number of bodyguards on her payroll.
She winks. All smiles. I'll be careful. Who else am I after?
You'll be going after Katren, the firebrand's resident wizard. Rumor has it, she was once an apprentice to Arkemir before turning pirate. Last I heard, Katren and her sundry little minions could be found lazing about the sacred stair here in Neketaka at night. No idea where she disappears off to during the day.
And who is our last target?
I have a challenge for you, my friend. And his name is Torkar, leader of the Firebrand's boarding parties. He's an ogre, with a reputation for cleverness and cruelty both. I've even heard tell it was Torkar who was behind the Firebrand's most successful tactics, not Henqua. Torkar was last seen at Lifte's refuge here in Dunwich, dead set on joining a crew, or assembling his own. I trust you won't let that happen.
Sounds like you've got a grudge against the Firebrand's crew.
It's nothing personal. The crew earned their reputation through murder and thievery, and it would make me sick to see them regain an ounce of their power.
She tries for a nonchalant shrug, but it comes off looking like she just got a sore shoulder.
Happy hunting.
She nods and gives you a showy wink. I cannot wait to hunt. Okay, I can't talk to that cat. Ah, Rosanelle.